Today we are going to start a new chapter. Today we are starting a new chapter, that is plant growth and development. Plant growth and development, right? Now listen here. All sexually reproducing organisms starts their life with a single cell. What are the single cells? Are zygote. This statement we read in first year, right? All sexually reproducing organisms, all sexually reproducing organisms starts their life with how many cells? With a single cell. Starts their life with a single cell. Sir, what is that single cell, sir? That is zygote. What it is, sir? Zygote. Therefore, all sexually reproducing organisms, they are starting their life with a single cell. That is what, sir? Zygote. What is another name for zygote? Fertilized egg cell. Yes or no? Zygote. Also called what it is called as fertilized egg cell. Fertilized egg cell. Sir, it is also called as oospore. Oosphere or oospore. Sir, zygote. Is it unicellular or multicellular, sir? Unicellular. Zygote, how it is, sir? Zygote is unicellular. It is uninucleate, right? Uninucleate. Okay, right? And it is a haploid or diploid, sir? It's diploid. Zygote is a unicellular, uninucleate, and what it is, sir? Diploid. Is this statement okay? Right? Now listen here. Sir, take a multicellular sexually reproducing organism. What it is? Multicellular sexually reproducing organism. Multicellular sexually reproducing organism. Now see this statement carefully. Sir, your organism is made up of how many cells, sir? Many cells. It is a sexually reproducing organism. Yes or no? Right? Now listen here. Sir, even though this organism is made up of many cells, even though this organism is multicellular, it is starting its life with how many cells, sir? It is starting its life with a single cell. What is that cell called? As a zygote. What is that cell called? As a zygote. That cell is called as zygote. It means, see here, sir, zygote is unicellular, right? Made up of a single cell. It is a uninucleate, contains a single nucleus. It is haploid or diploid, sir? It is diploid. It is what, sir? Diploid. It's diploid. Sir, this zygote, right, it has undergone repeated mitotic divisions, sir. Zygote has undergone what? Repeated mitotic divisions. Then zygote undergoes what? Repeated mitotic divisions. When zygote undergoes repeated mitotic divisions, when zygote undergoes repeated mitotic divisions, there is what is formed, sir? A multicellular structure is formed. What is formed? A multicellular structure is formed. What is this multicellular structure called as, sir? This multicellular structure is called as embryo. What is this multicellular structure called as a embryo? This multicellular structure is called as a embryo. Is it okay? Therefore, embryo is unicellular or multicellular? It is a multicellular. It is multicellular. Sir, this embryo, is it haploid or diploid, sir? It is a diploid. This embryo is diploid. Is this statement okay? Right? Later on, what happens means due to mitotic divisions, due to what, sir? Mitotic divisions, this embryo develops into a small plant called as what, sir? Seedling. What is that small plant called as, sir? Seedling. Later, this seedling develops into a plantlet. Later, this seedling develops into what, sir? Plantlet. Later, this plantlet develops into a mature plant. This plantlet develops into a mature plant. This plantlet develops into a mature plant. Is this statement okay? Therefore, zygote undergone repeated mitotic divisions produced a multicellular structure called as embryo. Multicellular structure called as embryo. Sir, this embryo later formed a small plant called as a seedling. This seedling contains millions of cells. Yes or no? Later, right, this seedling, right, developed into a plantlet. It is also with many cells. This plantlet develops into a mature plant. Now you tell me, sir, this mature plant is having how many cells? Many cells. Millions of cells are present in this mature plant. But all these cells, all the cells present in this mature plant, they came after formation of zygote or before the formation of zygote? After the formation of zygote. Yes or no? Therefore, all cells in a multicellular sexually reproducing organism, they came after zygote. Therefore, they are descendants of zygote. Is this statement okay? Therefore, in multicellular sexually reproducing organisms, right, all cells are what? Descendants of zygote. Is this statement okay? Is it okay? Therefore, in which organisms? Multicellular sexually reproducing organisms. In multicellular sexually reproducing organisms, right, all cells are descendants of zygote. They came after zygote. All cells are descendants of zygote. Is it okay? Right? Now, listen this statement. Sir, take a seed. Sir, seed means with how many parts? 2 parts. What and what? Seed, coat and embryo. Yes or no? If you place a seed right in the soil, the seed embryo develops into seedling. Yes or no? Sir, this seedling develops into plantlet. This plantlet later develops into a mature plant. Yes or no? Right? Therefore, development. What, sir? Development of what? Mature plant from seed. Development of mature plant from what, sir? Seed follow precise and highly ordered succession events. Highly ordered succession events. Is this statement okay? Right? Therefore, what, sir? Development. Sir, development of what, sir? Development of a mature plant. Development of a mature plant from where? From seed. Development of mature plant from seed, right, follow or follows what? Precise and highly ordered succession events. Is it okay? Right? Sir, this mature plant, is it developed in a single step from the seed embryo? No. Is this statement clear? Sir, is this mature plant developed from seed embryo in a single step? No. It involves many steps. It involves many events. All that events are taking place in one particular order. So what we are saying, see, development of a mature plant from seed follows a precise and highly ordered succession events, one followed by another. Is this statement okay? Sir, during this succession of events, finally what we got, sir? We got a mature plant. Sir, this mature plant, it contains a complex body organization. This mature plant is with what, sir? This mature plant is with complex body organization. This mature plant is with what? Complex body organization. This mature plant is with what, sir? Complex body organization. Contains root, stem, leaves, flower, fruit, seed. Yes or no? And finally, what happens to this plant, sir? Ultimately, the plant has to die. Yes or no? Right. Therefore, sir, this mature plant, it is having what? A complex body organization, because it bears root, stem, leaves, flowers, fruit, seed. And finally, after its lifespan, this mature plant is going to die. Is this statement okay? Right? Sir, see this statement, development of mature plant from seed. Sir, what is the meaning of development, sir? Development means growth and differentiation. What plus what? Growth plus differentiation is equals to development. Is it okay? Right? Therefore, what is the meaning of development? Development means growth plus differentiation. What plus what, sir? Growth plus differentiation is equals to what, sir? Development. Is it okay? Right. Sir, development is controlled by both intrinsic factors and extrinsic factors. What, sir? Development. Development is controlled. Development is controlled. Development is controlled by what, sir? Intrinsic factors and extrinsic factors. What and what, sir? Intrinsic factors and extrinsic factors. Name itself indicates. Sir, intrinsic factors inside. Therefore, these are plant factors. These are which factors, sir? Plant factors. Whereas extrinsic factors, do they belongs to plant? No. Extrinsic factors, environmental factors. Which factors are extrinsic factors? Means environmental factors. Environmental factors. Is it okay? Right? Therefore, development is controlled by both intrinsic factors and extrinsic factors. Intrinsic factors, plant factors. Extrinsic factors, that is environmental factors. Is it okay? Right? Now, sir, in first year, we read about seed germination. Yes or no? In first year, we read about what, sir? Seed germination. We read about seed germination. Sir, this seed germination. Sir, seed germination is of how many types? Two types. It may be epizeual. What, sir? Epizeual. Second one is what, sir? Hypozeal. What, sir? Hypozeal. What is this? Seed germination. Take a seed. Keep the seed in the soil. That seed develops into a small plant called as a seedling. Development of seedling from seed embryo is called as seed germination. What is developed? Seedling is developed. From where? Seed embryo. What is that process called as? Seed germination. Seed germination may be epizeual or hypozeal. Okay. We read vivipary also as a special case of seed germination. Vivipary, special case of seed germination. Is it okay? Right? Now see this diagram. In this diagram, write germination of bean seed, B-E-A-N. Germination of bean seed is indicated, right? Sir, here when seed is placed in the soil, when what is placed in the soil? Seed is placed in the soil, what happened? The seed has germinated. During seed germination, see the level of cotyledons, where cotyledons are present above the soil surface. During seed germination, if cotyledons comes to the surface of the soil, then that type of seed germination is called as apical. What is this type of seed germination called as apical? Sir, why cotyledons came to surface of the soil, sir? Because more elongation of hypocotyle. As hypocotyle has elongated more, right, cotyledons came to the surface of the soil. This type of seed germination is called as apical. What is this type of seed germination called as? Apical. Therefore, in bean, which type of seed germination is seen? Apical type of seed germination is seen. Is it okay? Right? Is this statement clear? Right. Therefore, sir, apical. What, sir? Apical. During what? During seed germination. During seed germination, as a hypocotyle, elongates more. What elongated more? Hypocotyle elongates more. Cotyledons came to soil surface. Cotyledons came to what, sir? Soil surface. During seed germination, as hypocotyle elongated more, cotyledons came to surface of the soil. And cotyledons remains above the soil surface. What is such type of seed germination called as? Apical. What is such type of seed germination called as? Apical. Best example for apical, bean, B-E-A-N, bean. Is this statement okay? Right? Clear? Now, in first year, we read structure of dicot seed, structure of monocot seed. Do you remember? Structure of dicot seed and structure of monocot seed. If you take a dicot seed, a dicot seed contains how many parts, sir? What? Dicot seed. A dicot seed contains how many parts? 2 parts, right? What are the 2 parts of a dicot seed, sir? First one is a seed coat. What is the first one, sir? Seed coat. What is the second one? Embryo. Sir, this embryo again contains how many parts? 2 parts. What are they? Embryonal axis. What is the first part? Embryonal axis. And what is the second one, sir? Cotyledons. What, sir? Cotyledons. As it is a dicot seed, how many cotyledons are present? 2 cotyledons are present. Therefore, a dicot seed contains how many parts? 2 parts. What are they? Seed coat and embryo. Embryo with how many parts? 2 parts. What are they? Embryonal axis and 2 cotyledons. Sir, embryo is with how many parts? 2 parts. What is the first one? Embryonal axis. Sir, this is embryonal axis. What is this one? Embryonal axis. Sir, what are these 2, sir? Cotyledons. These 2 are cotyledons. Is it okay? Sir, the part of embryonal axis, which is present above the level of cotyledons. Sir, this part of embryonal axis is present above the level of cotyledons. This part is called as epicotyle. Yes or no? What it is called as a epicotyle. Name itself indicates epi means above. This part is above the level of cotyledons. So this is epicotyle. Then what about this one, sir? This is the part of embryonal axis This is the part of embryonal axis which is present below the level of cotyledons. This is called as what, sir? Hypocotyle. Hypo means below. It is below what, sir? Level of cotyledons. This we already read in first year. Yes or no? Right? Now listen here. Sir, we are discussing what, sir? We are discussing epizeual type of seed germination. We are discussing epizeual type of seed germination. Yes or no? Sir, what is the meaning of epizeual, sir? During seed germination, cotyledons comes to the surface of the soil. What comes to the surface of the soil? Cotyledons comes to surface of the soil. For example, this is a soil surface. What it is, sir? This is a soil surface. Sir, during seed germination, during what, sir? Seed germination, hypocotyle has elongated more. Due to more elongation of what, sir? Hypocotyle. Due to what, sir? More elongation of hypocotyle, they came above the surface of the soil. See this diagram. Sir, what is this one, sir? Hypocotyle. See this diagram? Sir, hypocotyle has elongated more. Due to more elongation of hypocotyle, where cotyledons are above the soil surface. Where the cotyledons are above the soil surface. This type of seed germination is called as what, sir? Epizeual type of seed germination. Best example for epizeual type of seed germination is what, sir? Bean. Is this statements okay? Right? In this chapter, there is plant growth and development. First, we are going to discuss about growth. What's sir? Growth, right? Go for growth, right? Now, listen here. Growth is the most fundamental and conspicuous character of living organisms. Growth is the most fundamental and what conspicuous character, conspicuous, visible of what's a living organisms. Growth is the most fundamental and conspicuous character of what's a living organisms. Sir, how we can define growth, sir? Growth is defined as a permanent, irreversible change, nothing but increase in size and mass of a organism or any part of an organism, or a cell. See this definition carefully. Sir, we are defining what, sir? Growth. Growth is a permanent change. Is it temporary or permanent? Permanent. Reversible or irreversible? It is a irreversible change. In what, sir? In size and mass. In size and mass of what? Of an organism or any part of an organism or a cell. Is this definition okay? Right? Therefore, growth is a permanent, irreversible change or irreversible increase in size and mass of an organism, right? Or any part of an organism or a cell. Is it okay? Right? Now, listen this statement. Sir, we are discussing statements concerned to growth, right? Growth is a character of all living organisms. growth is a character. Growth is a character of all living organisms. It means all living organisms will grow, right? But growth is not a defining character of living organisms. This we read in first year. Yes or no? Right? Sir, is growth a defining character of living organisms? No. Growth is not a defining character of living organisms. Growth is not a defining character. It is not a defining character of living organisms. Why, sir? Why growth is not a defining character of living organisms, sir? Because not only living organisms but non-living objects can also grow. Not only living organisms, non-living objects can also grow. So, growth is not a defining character of living organisms. Is this statement okay? Why, sir? As not only what? As not only living organisms, but also what? Non-living objects, but also non-living objects can grow. What can grow? Non-living objects can grow. Sir, in first year we read the difference between growth of living organisms and growth of non-living objects. Yes or no? What is the difference, sir? Growth of living organisms, growth of non-living objects. What is the difference between these, sir? What is the difference between these two? Growth of living organisms, growth of non-living objects. What is the difference between these two, sir? Sir, if you take living organisms, the growth is internal. In which organisms? Living organisms. Growth is internal. Yes or no? In living organisms, what? Growth is internal. Growth is internal. Sir, internal means, is it intrinsic or extrinsic, sir? Intrinsic. It is intrinsic. And quantitative. Qualitative, quantitative, quantitative. In living organisms, growth is internal, there is intrinsic, and what more? Quantitative. Sir, growth in non-living objects. Sir, growth in non-living objects is external due to accumulation of materials on its surface. Yes or no? Therefore, growth of non-living objects is external. Sir, external means what, sir? We can call it as extrinsic, right? We can call it as extrinsic. Sir, how this external growth has taken place, sir? Due to what? Due to accumulation. Due to what, sir? Accumulation of material. Due to accumulation of material on its surface. On whose surface? On non-living object surface. It means when material gets accumulated on the surface of a non-living object, on a non-living object, then growth takes place in non-living objects. Therefore, a living organism can grow, a non-living object can grow. What is the difference between growth of living organisms and non-living objects, sir? In living organisms, growth is intrinsic, internal. whereas in non-living objects growth is external, extrinsic. That extrinsic growth is due to accumulation of material on the surface of the non-living object. Is it okay? As growth also takes place in non-living objects, growth is not a defining character of living organisms. Growth is not a defining character of living organisms. Is this statement okay? Right? This statement. Growth is accompanied by accompanied by what's our metabolic process. Growth is accompanied by what's our metabolic process. Sir, why growth is accompanied by metabolic process, sir? To carry out growth, energy is required. What is required? Energy is required to carry out growth. That energy is produced in metabolic reactions. Is this statement okay? To carry out growth, what is required? Energy is required. That energy is produced in metabolic reactions. It means without metabolic reactions, growth in living organisms is not possible. Is this statement okay? Growth in living organisms is accompanied by what's our metabolic process. Sir, metabolic process means in first year we read metabolism is equals to what plus what, sir? Anabolism plus catabolism. What plus what, sir? Anabolism plus catabolism. Is this statement okay? Sir, in these two, what is required for growth, sir? Both. Is it okay? Right. Therefore, growth is accompanied by metabolic process. Growth is accompanied by metabolic process. That is, growth is accompanied by both anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism and catabolism. Sir, if growth wants to take place, anabolic rate should be more than catabolic rate. What should be more, sir? Anabolic rate should be more than catabolic rate. Therefore, during growth, what, sir? Growth, anabolic rate is more. What is more? Anabolic rate is more than what, sir? Catabolic rate. Anabolic rate is more than what, sir? Catabolic rate. Sir, expansion of leaf. Take a leaf which is expanding. Expansion of leaf is an example for growth. Expansion of what, sir? Leaf. Expansion of leaf. Expansion of leaf is an example of what, sir? Growth. Expansion of leaf is an example for growth. Sir, growth is a physical process or physiological process, sir? Physiological. What it is, sir? Physiological process. Now you take a wooden piece. What, sir? Take a wooden piece. You place this wooden piece in water. After some time, right, this wooden piece will swell. Swollen. What, sir? Wooden piece. Sir, take a wooden piece and keep it in water. After some time, that wooden piece will swell. Yes or no? Right, that is nothing but swollen wooden piece. Sir, it means the wooden piece, it has absorbed water. It has absorbed what, sir? Water. This absorption of water is called as what, sir? Imbibition or imbibition. What is this absorption of water called as, sir? Imbibition or imbibition. Sir, this imbibition is a physical process. Imbibition is which process, sir? Physical process. Is these statements okay? Right? Therefore, expansion of a leaf is an example for growth, which is a physiological process, whereas swelling of an wooden piece, which is placed in water, is imbibition or imbibition, right? Which is a which process? Which is a physical process. Is these statements okay? Right? Thank you. లతీఫ్ సార్ లేదు కట్ చేయాలి వీడియో.
చిన్న సార్